Being a lifetime grappler, both wrestling and jiu-jitsu, the spinal rocking series was always one of my favorite. If you have a stiff, achy spine and stiff neck, this is a wonderful way to get yourself nice and loose. It's pretty intense core work as well. All you need is some pad or mat. In our case, we just took a piece of foam and covered it with a sheet, and voila, you got yourself a mat to do spinal rocking. Certainly one of my all-time favorite mobility drills. Hey, listen, you're only as old or young as your spine. I don't know about you, but my spine gets pretty stiff sometimes with all the traveling I do. So here I'm just trying to loosen up the mid-spine before I start the spinal rocking drill. But spinal rocking is one of my favorite ways to get rid of a lot of excess spinal tension and keep myself pretty spry. So I'm basically just lifting the chest. Notice how I get weight on my neck and then I try to open the chest as I roll up. I'm not exactly the most mobile guy through the mid-back, but this really makes me feel pretty good. And the idea is as I roll back to get the hips up there pretty good and get weight on my neck. That's just like a makeshift mat we came up with. So, it's just basically a sheet on top of a piece of foam. So you don't need a big fancy mat to do these spinal rocks, but you definitely want to pad your spine up a little bit. So now I'm going to do the spinal rocks with straight legs and reach out and grab my toes if I can. I can't tell you how good this feels. It's a really nice little abdominal routine too. Your abs get quite a bit of work when you're doing this. And for anyone that plays any type of contact sport, it's really good just to kind of get that weight on the neck so that you don't end up hurting yourself when you're playing sports, when you do get put in your neck. Now we're going to the plow and then the toe touch. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So it's a 2-breath pattern. And if you never did more than this, just like 50 reps, you would have a pretty good little spinal mobility drill, just this alone. Really, really a nice way to condition your neck also for the stresses of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling or judo. And you pick the number of reps. Here I'm just arbitrarily picking like 10 reps. Now we're going into this like little hurdlers type stretch. Not exactly a hurdler. It's like a half lotus with the legs straight just to get a little extra hamstring work in. I have some old knee issues from my wrestling days, and I find that this position is really good for helping keep the knee nice and spry. And of course, everyone can use a little extra hamstring. Always a good idea. And the next one we're going to be going to is like a shin roll. Notice I'm turning over that shin and rolling it. Really, really nice drill. Opening up the groin and the hip so that I'm externally rotating my thigh bone and rolling over that foot. This really is great for helping prevent knee injuries in combat sports and any type of contact sport for that matter. Now we're going to work the hips. A little twist in the air. Now we're going to add like a little hip extension. This is called the Z seat, by the way, when your feet are in this shape. The Z sit is just a really, really nice way to loosen the hips. The whole idea is to get rid of excess tension in the body excess muscular tension is pretty much what limits your mobility and your range of motion when you're doing sports and so forth. So this is a good way to get rid of that. And just rocking into a squat, really, really nice for working the whole hip structure. I didn't quite make it that time. Not the best surface to probably be doing this exercise on, but it really, really feels nice. So you don't need a lot of time to get a great little mobility drill, just a few minutes, a few of the big bang for the buck type movement patterns. There's many more movements that you can use in the Spinal Rock series, but this is a real good one here, this little routine, this little 5-minute routine.